I think a question we should ask ourselves, are we a on-the-way Christian? I really believe Jesus was an on-the-way Savior. And I'll tell you why I say that. As I was reading Mark 5, I noticed that when he told his disciples to get into the boat, I believe he knew where he was going. He was going to see that demon-possessed man. But as he went across the lake, across the sea, they call it, there was a major storm. I mean, it was a really bad storm. These seasoned fishermen were freaked out. They woke Jesus up and they said, "Aren't you even concerned that we might die?" So Jesus stood up and spoke to the storm, and the sea was still. That was on the way, I believe, to see that demon-possessed man. As he saw the demon-possessed man, he cast those demons out. He cast those demons out and set that man free. Now, and then he was whole. He was complete in his right mind. He was able to go back to his family and back to his townspeople and tell them what Jesus did for him. Then Jesus was on his way back. He ran into a ruler, one of the rulers of the synagogue, named Jairus. Now this Jairus, I mean, in my eyes, he seemed like a pretty well-to-do kind of guy. And in some circles, he may have been the guy to hang with. You know, if you could, just think if you could do this for Jairus, how that would spread your reputation around. So, not that Jesus ever felt that way, but stay with me here. As he's walking through the crowd, there was a woman with an issue of blood. She had this for 12 years, spent all the money she had on doctors and cures, thinking this would be the one time she would be well. And she just wasn't. I mean, she was unclean. She wasn't even allowed in public. But she went in knowing that she heard Jesus was going to be there. And she said, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, then I will be well. So as they're pushing through the crowd to go with Jairus to see his daughter, she touched the hem of his garment. She thought, that's it. If I can just touch the hem of his garment. She never even thought he was going to lay eyes on her, or that probably she didn't even think she was worthy. But he stopped. Jesus stopped. And he said, "Who touched me?" Well, his disciples said, "Jesus, look around. How are we to know who touched you? We're surrounded by people. Everybody's bumping into us." And he turned around. And the woman fell at his feet, fear and trembling, and said, "It was I." And Jesus looked at her, and he said, "Your faith has made you whole. You're well." He healed her on the way. How many of us get so busy being on the way, going to work, going to church, on the way, that we stop and we miss the people that Jesus wants us to stop to. Wants us to stop and recognize and see. Buy them a cup of coffee. I don't know. But I know that if Jesus did this, it's okay to stop. It's okay to change your plans. He did. He went. Of course, anyone who knows the story of Jairus, if you want to read it in Mark 5, someone came after he healed this lady. Jesus healed the lady, and someone told Jairus, "Don't bother, your daughter's dead." And Jesus looked at Jairus and said, "Do not fear, only believe." Well, as the story went on, Jesus went back and told that little girl, "Rise, wake up, Tabitha." So my point is this: let's not be so busy about getting where we think we're supposed to be that we miss the people on the way, the very people that the Lord could have put in our spot, in our place, in our walkway, somebody that we might think might be a bother. Let's try to be an on-the-way Christian.